This Maruti Brezza has been a part of the MotorBeam long-term fleet for a few months now. This is the top of the line ZXi Plus automatic dual tone variant and हम लोग ने ये कार को almost 4000 kilometers drive किया है. So how has the experience been with the Brezza? गाड़ी के साथ रहने में क्या क्या पता चला, क्या अच्छाई है, क्या खामियां है, ये सब हम डिस्कस करेंगे आज के वीडियो में. First question, what are the issues or what are the niggles that we face with the Brezza long termer? Honestly, ये गाड़ी काफ़ी reliable थी and we did not face any major issues at all. Only issue is with the touchscreen which is quite glitchy and sometimes it does not connect to Apple CarPlay at all. Sometimes even when the phone is connected, वो अपना connection lose हो जाता है अपने आप and you just cannot make it work seamlessly all the time. Sometimes I just could not connect Apple CarPlay. मैंने गाड़ी को off किया, on किया, restart किया इसको, but it was just not working and I thought it could be an issue with my phone or with the cable. But we tried multiple phones, multiple cables. The issue is actually with the screen. So I think a software update could possibly fix that. But apart from that, this car has not given us any sort of trouble. Question number 2, how is the AC of the Brezza? Now this is a very important question because we shoot for long hours every day and honestly in Mumbai it is hot all the time throughout the year. There's no winter in Mumbai and the AC of this car is actually a big USP. ये गाड़ी का AC बहुत जल्दी एक तो चिल कर लेता है कैबिन को और मतलब ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा चिल कर लेता है कभी-कभी. It works flawlessly and sometimes I actually have to switch off the AC or increase the temperature to maintain the coolness in the cabin. Otherwise it just becomes too cold over here. And compared to other cars also that we had in a long-term fleet, the Brezza actually had one of the best ACs around. I have been telling you guys my thoughts, but what does the MotorBeam team think about the Maruti Brezza? चलिए वो जानते हैं.
हाय गाइस, आई एम ज़ुबैर. मोस्टली मैं शूट करता हूँ तो मैं बैक सीट पे बैठता हूँ, तो मेरे हिसाब से ब्रेज़ा में कंफर्ट काफ़ी ज़्यादा अच्छा है.
So I have a first generation Brezza diesel AMT which my parents use. So this car is definitely an upgrade over that in terms of everything.
हेलो, माय नेम इज़ अविल खान. मैंने ये गाड़ी ज़्यादातर ट्रैकिंग करते टाइम चलाई है. मैं गाड़ी चलाता हूँ पीछे सुबह शूट करता ट्रैकिंग करते हुए.
देन सस्पेंशन इज़ ऑल्सो वेरी गुड. अभी जैसे कि गर्मी का सीज़न है तो मोस्टली इसका AC काफ़ी ज़्यादा बेटर लगता है एज़ कम्पेयर टू अदर कार्स बिकॉज कूलिंग काफ़ी अच्छी है इसकी.
In terms of the space, the design, what I really like is this car is very practical.
तो ट्रैकिंग के टाइम पे अच्छी लगती है, मेरे को फील लगती है, कंफर्टेबल लगती है, इजी टू मैन्यूवर लगती है. इसका स्टीयरिंग बहुत लाइट है
एंड मोस्ट हम ज़्यादातर ऑन रोड ऑफ रोड दोनों जगह शूट करते हैं तो ग्राउंड क्लियरेंस के हिसाब से भी ऑफ रोड में ये गाड़ी कहीं भी चली जाती है, तो इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं होता ना, इतना ज़्यादा स्क्रैप होती है नीचे से.
Now some things which I don't like is the transmission. The 6-speed auto is a little sluggish. There is no turbo offered, and while the competition is still offering diesel, Maruti has done away with it. But overall, yes, very practical car.
इसका सीट अच्छा है बट फैब्रिक है तो स्वेटिंग की वजह से ना थोड़ा सा मेरे को इशू आता है मेरे को स्वेटिंग का. तो सीट ज़्यादातर गीली हो जाती है पीछे से, तो इसमें अगर वेंटिलेटेड सीट होती तो ज़्यादा अच्छा होता.
The very most important question, what is the fuel economy of this car? Now the K15C engine is decently fuel economical, but I think the K15B was a bit more efficient, but still the Brezza has returned us good economy numbers. So once I took this car to Shady with my family for a day trip and I drove around 600 kilometers that day and the car gave me 15.4 kilometers per liter. In city traffic the mileage is hovering between 10 to 11 kilometers per liter and on empty roads the maximum I have seen is 16.1 kilometers per liter on the MID and on the tank full to tank full method the maximum I've got is 15.8 kilometers per liter in Mumbai now, because the thing is that the highways in Mumbai also not empty all the time. हाईवे पे भी काफ़ी ट्रैफिक होता है एंड द ऑटोमेटिक ऑफ कोर्स इज देयर, तो वैसे माइलेज थोड़ी मतलब ऊपर नीचे हो जाती है, बट realistically you can expect 10 to 11 in the city and 14 to 15 out on the highway. For us the running cost has been approximately 9 rupees per kilometer, which means in 4000 kilometers of driving we have spent around 36,000 rupees on petrol. So how is the performance of the 1.5 liter K15C engine of the Brezza in day-to-day scenarios? Now we have obviously driven this engine a lot of times and this one makes 103 horsepower, 136 Newton meters of torque. Decent performance. It is not that great, not very exciting, but I think for day-to-day driving scenarios it works quite well. Engine is not very responsive, it is a bit lazy. The gearbox also is quite lazy to respond, so all of that makes the driving experience quite average on this car. ज़्यादा कुछ थ्रिल इसमें आपको नहीं मिलेगी, ज़्यादा एक्साइटमेंट आपको नहीं मिलेगी. नॉर्मल ड्राइविंग के लिए ठीक लगेगी गाड़ी, बट या ऑफ कोर्स इफ़ यू वांट सम एडेड पंच देन यू माइट बी वांटिंग फॉर मोर. इफ़ यू वांट टू ओवरटेक द बिग व्हीकल्स ऑन द हाईवे आपको प्लान करने पड़ेंगे ओवरटेकिंग मैन्यूवर्स, और वहाँ पे मतलब ऐसा लग जाता है कि मतलब ठीक है, गाड़ी चल जाती है अच्छे से, लेकिन वो जो पंच चाहिए होती है ये सेगमेंट की गाड़ी में, वो इसमें थोड़ी मिसिंग है। When you drive this car in सिटी ट्रैफिक में इसका लो एंड जो रिस्पॉन्सिव फील होता है डेफिनेटली, लेकिन जो मिड रेंज है वहाँ पे मतलब कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा लगता है कि द इंजन कुड हैव बीन अ बिट मोर एक्साइटिंग, अ बिट मोर रिस्पॉन्सिव. सो इन ट्रैफिक द कार वर्क्स वेल. द ऑटोमेटिक इज ऑफ कोर्स वेरी कन्वीनियंट. अगेन इट इज़ नॉट अ वेरी क्विक गियर बॉक्स, स्लो है गियर बॉक्स थोड़ा, लेकिन कन्वीनियंस जो ऑफर करता है, जो स्मूथनेस ऑफर करता है वो काफ़ी अच्छी है इसमें. तो सिटी में वो हो जाता है. हाईवे पे भी अगर आप क्रूज करोगे तो कोई दिक्कत आएगी नहीं, बट इफ़ यू ड्राइव फास्ट ऑन द हाईवे देन इट कुड बी एन इशू. So is the Maruti Brezza a family car? Is it comfortable enough? Is it practical enough? I think it scores high on these fronts. Practicality काफ़ी अच्छी गाड़ी में, lots of storage areas, the boot is nice and comfort is also good over bad roads, especially अच्छे रोड पे तो अच्छी चलती है गाड़ी, but बुरे रोड पे भी काफ़ी अच्छी राइड क्वालिटी है इसकी. The tires have nice grip levels, the profile is thick, so you don't have to worry a lot about bad roads, and the ground clearance is also more than enough. स्पेस भी डिसेंट है गाड़ी में. द सीट्स आर नाइस एंड बिग, दे ऑफर गुड कंफर्ट फॉर लॉन्ग ड्राइव्स. द ओनली थिंग इज दैट यहाँ पे फुल आपको फैब्रिक अपहोल्स्ट्री मिलती है पूरी गाड़ी में. देयर इज नो फॉर लेदर अवेलेबल, सो दैट इज देयर. आई थिंक ये प्राइस पॉइंट पे थोड़ी बेटर प्रीमियम अपहोल्स्ट्री होती है, so that would have been nice. 3 people can sit here. The middle passenger won't be very comfortable because of the slightly taller hump over here, but other than that I think space is nice, much better than the Nexon also, and even the venue से भी ज़्यादा अच्छी space आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाती है. 2 adjustable headrests, but sadly middle passenger को headrest नहीं मिलता Brezza में. The Fronx gets an adjustable headrest, so that is a step in the right direction. But other than that, I think the car does its job well as a family mover and in the sub 4 meter compact SUV segment. Is the Maruti Brezza a driver's car? Well, unfortunately the answer would be no, because the engine is not very punchy, the handling itself is not that sharp or that involving to drive, and the whole driving experience revolves around ease of use and comfort, which is a good thing. But the only thing is that yeah, you cannot call it a car meant for enthusiasts. So people who want to drive the car in a relaxed fashion, people who want a no nonsense car, people who want comfort, all these things, ये लोग के लिए Maruti Brezza बनी है. So if these things are at the top of your priority list, buy the Brezza. You won't be disappointed for sure. If you want thrills, if you want fast acceleration, if you want sharp cornering abilities, then obviously you have to look elsewhere. And talking about the steering, अभी यहाँ पे आए तो इसकी बात कर लेते हैं. The steering feels quite disconnected. It feels vague, does not have a lot of feel and feedback. It is of course very light and makes the car easy to drive, but somehow जो कनेक्शन होना चाहिए स्टीयरिंग गाड़ी और ड्राइवर के बीच में, दैट इज मिसिंग ऑन द Brezza, एंड इट इज एक्चुअली द सेम थिंग इज देयर ऑन मेनी अदर मारुति कार्स. इनफैक्ट इवन द रिसेंट Fronx दैट वी ड्रोव, उसमें भी ये सेम चीज होती है. सो दिस इज समथिंग वेयर मारुति कुड इम्प्रूव अपॉन, एंड वो उससे ड्राइविंग एक्सपीरियंस काफ़ी बेटर हो जाएगा. ओवरऑल हाई स्पीड स्टेबिलिटी इज मच बेटर ऑन द Maruti Brezza कंपेयर टू द Vitara Brezza. दैट वाज आल्सो एक्चुअली क्वाइट गुड, और इसमें भी वो सब चीज़ें अच्छी है. खाली वो है दैट द एक्सपीरियंस इज somehow very neutral driving this car. Of course, no doubt that the Brezza is very easy to drive, and this car has a lot of features. तो इसमें कई सारे features आते हैं. You get keyless go with push button start, sunroof, auto start stop is there, a 360 view camera is there, there's an HUD, a nice touch screen is there. Of course, it has some issues, but है अच्छा खासा. But if you ask me my favorite feature, I don't think I have any favorite feature on this car. All of them are equally useful, and the HUD is one feature that I've actually never used in all these months. वो गाड़ी जिस दिन आई उस दिन HUD बंद कर दिया, and no one has actually used it, so we could do without that feature. The 360 camera is actually quite nice. So yesterday we were shooting the Innova Hi-Cross and the Mahindra XUV 700. It was a video comparo, and we noticed that both those cars have very average quality parking cameras. In fact, this was the support car on that shoot, and everyone realized that ये 15-16 लाख रुपए की गाड़ी में जो कैमरा की क्वालिटी है, वो दोनों 30-35 लाख रुपए की गाड़ी में भी वो क्वालिटी नहीं है. So yeah, I think the 360 view camera quality is quite nice on the Brezza. So which variant of the Maruti Brezza should you buy now? इसमें अलग अलग बहुत सारे वेरिएंट्स आ जाते हैं. LXI, VXI, ZXI, ZXI Plus, सिंगल टोन, ड्यूअल टोन, मैनुअल, ऑटोमेटिक, CNG, प्योर पेट्रोल, काफ़ी सारे वेरिएंट्स आ जाते हैं. एंड द प्राइसिंग इज फ्रॉम 9.5 लाख ऑन रोड टू 16.6 लाख ऑन रोड. तो जो स्प्रेड है वो काफ़ी वाइड है. नाउ इन दैट यू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स विद डिफरेंट फीचर्स अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट यू लाइक. नाउ दिस ZXI automatic, the ZXI Plus automatic is 16.6 lakh on road Mumbai, which frankly I feel is a bit too much for this car. And I think the most value for money variant is the normal ZXI variant. Now that is available both with manual and automatic. The difference between manual and automatic is 1.5 lakh rupees. And the difference between the ZX and the ZXi Plus is also 1.5 lakh rupees. So I think the most value for money variant right now is the normal ZXi variant. You can buy either manual or automatic in that. And if you are on a very tight budget, you can consider the VXi variant. Now of course the LXi variant is the cheapest variant of the Brezza, but अगर आप गाड़ी ले रहे हो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए तो फिर कोई अच्छा सा वेरिएंट ले लो which has more features, because ऐसा नहीं चाहिए कि 2-3 साल बाद you get bored of the car and you think कि इसमें ये फीचर होता तो ज़्यादा मज़ा आता. So yeah, the ZXi Plus is the most feature loaded, the ZXi is the most value for money, and if you're on a budget, the VXi variant is the one to go for. Manual, automatic आपको जो चाहिए आप decide कीजिए based on your requirements. CNG is available up to the ZXi variant, not on the ZXi Plus. So how does the Maruti Brezza stand up against its rivals? अब ये गाड़ी के competition की बात करें, you have the Nexon on one hand, you have the Hyundai Venue and the Kia Sonet, and then on a lower spectrum you have the Renault Kiger and the Nissan Magnite. Now the Magnite and the Kiger are more value for money cars, लेकिन they feel a segment lower also in terms of a lot of things like quality also and probably long-term reliability also. The Nexon is a good car. It has petrol, diesel, EV, all those options, manual, AMT is available. Features are there, but the car itself is a bit outdated now, and the new Nexon is coming in the next few months. So if you're planning to buy a Nexon, keep it on hold. If I talk about the Venue and the Sonet is a very fancy car, lots of features, multiple engine options. So it's a good car for the price, feels more value for money definitely, but long-term reliability and service is a concern with Kia in India. Meanwhile, if we talk about the Hyundai Venue, the Venue has slightly lesser comfort compared to the Brezza, but the Venue has better engine options, it has better transmission options, it has more features and slightly better quality on the inside. Moreover, the price of the Venue is also much lower than the Brezza, which is why I feel the Venue is the most value for money car in the segment, but the Brezza is also not bad at all. So I think अगर आपको ये segment में गाड़ी लेनी है, take a long test drive of all of the cars back to back, and if you can stretch your budget a little, you might actually get the lower variants of the Creta or the Kushaq or the Taygun for the same price point. So those cars also make sense. I mean, if you can compromise on features, you get more power and slightly better cars. It is now time to give a rating to the Brezza long-termer on various aspects, and we'll start off with desirability. Kitni desirable hai gaadi? I think out of 5 this car gets a rating of 3.5. It looks better than the older Vitara Brezza. Kafi fancy ho gayi design, lekin somehow it could have done with a more youthfulness, a slightly more premiumness, and which is why I gave it a rating of 3.5. Next up we have comfort and practicality. I think the Brezza is a very comfortable and practical car for sure. Space inside the cabin is decent, the boot is also decently shaped, and there are lots of storage spaces, bottle holders in the cabin. So on that front I would give this car a rating of 4 out of 5. Next up we have engine performance. On that I would give this car a rating of 3 out of 5. The K15C engine, although it is very smooth and reliable, it is not very responsive, not very punchy, and it has just about average performance. And now we move on to fuel economy, for which I give the car a rating of 4 out of 5. The K15C engine is optimized very nicely for Indian driving conditions obviously, and the Brezza drinks a little less fuel if you drive the car sensibly. इसको आप आराम से चलाओगे, अच्छा माइलेज आपको रिवॉर्ड करेगी, लेकिन I think the K15B engine was a little more peppier and a little more efficient. However, this is also not bad at all. So how does the Maruti Brezza fare as a value for money proposition? Well, I would give this car a rating of 3.5 out of 5. See, the LXi, VXi and the ZXi variants are priced competitively, but the ZXi Plus, manual and automatic, both of them feel a bit overpriced for the kind of package the car is. Now, the interior could have been a bit more premium, the engine could have been slightly better, the gearbox could have been slightly quicker, and that is the only concern with the Brezza. This is a car you really cannot go wrong with it. अगर आपने ये गाड़ी खरीद ली तो आपको peace of mind बहुत अच्छा मिल जाएगा, because it is backed by Maruti's सर्विस कॉस्ट एंड रिलायबिलिटी. तो वो सब चीज़ में कोई इशू है नहीं, खाली वो है कि प्राइस के हिसाब से थोड़ी और ज़्यादा एक्साइटिंग, थोड़ी ज़्यादा प्रीमियम फील इसमें हो जाती, देन इट वुड हैव बीन अ स्लाइटली बेटर परचेज. बट अदरवाइज दिस इज वन कार यू कैन नॉट गो रॉन्ग विथ. ओनली थिंग इज दैट द टॉप एंड वेरिएंट इज अ बिट ओवर प्राइस्ड. सो दैट्स अबाउट इट. दीज आर माई थॉट्स ऑन द Brezza after using it for 4,000 kilometers. What are your thoughts on this car? Do you have one? If yes, share your ownership experience with us in the comment section below. If you test drove this car and bought some other car, then what were your reasons? वो भी हमें बताएं नीचे comment section में. And I'll see you guys soon. So take care and thank you so much for watching this video.